Hey guys, I picked up Jungle recently and I figured that most people will follow the route where they pick up Gromp or Krugs. Starting with the leash, they'll take that buff with Smite and then they'll go straight to their colored red or blue buff. And what was happening to me, and I figured this was going on with other junglers as well, is they would end their colored buff by taking it, but they would be at around 33% health, and they're essentially a sitting duck for an invade. So the strategy that I've been using pretty successfully recently has been I'll take the Gromp buff, or if I'm starting bottom side, I'll take red buff, and then I'll immediately cross over level 2 and use that buff to duel the enemy jungler and steal their buff from them because they'll be really low. So what ends up happening is they usually either have to give up their buff and peace out, or they'll try to fight me and give up first blood because I'll have the jungle buff and a significant health advantage on them. So what I'll always do is I'll go to the river bush and I'll hang out there until it's about a minute 30, and I'll drop a ward in their colored buff. So that'll last until about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And what that'll do is it'll give me vision of the enemy jungler when they start going to their second camp. And I'll be able to time myself to come in and steal it or fight them for first blood. So in this setup, Xin Zhao has actually warded his curvy bush, which is closest to river. But as you can see, it actually leaves a fair amount of space between red and dragon that is still in the fog. Usually I'll go through river into that curvy bush near mid, but if I know it's warded or if I think it's warded, I'll take Tribush to go through the fog and get under that ward. So when the enemy jungler gets to their second camp and I can see them with the ward, I'll watch them for as long as the ward will last, and after that I will sneak into the bush near them, try to get some good vision on them. If they notice me, we'll start fighting. If they don't, I can hang out there and wait for the opportunity to steal it and move on. So that's the setup and follow through for the level 2 jungle invade, and now let's see some examples from actual games. So in this example, I'm bottom side on blue team, and the plan is to go for my red and then invade their jungler as they're doing their blue. Around a minute 30, I actually walk over a ward and place one down in his blue camp. They see me doing that, and I know that it's warded, so I do a little dance. They don't seem to care. Maybe they think that we were doing an invade that we aborted. But regardless, I'm going to get a leash from my bot lane. I'm going to take my red buff. I'm going to smite it. Get some health back, finish off the little bramblings, head on over. I actually walk over 2 different wards on my way over to Hecarim, and he's indecisive. He can't figure out if he wants to fight me or run away. So I get over to him, Alpha Strike, start hitting him. I flash, trying to get the kill. The red buff does not kill him because he's getting health back from his W, so whatever. He gets away, that's fine, I take the buff. And I'm actually still good to go here, so I'm going to double down on my invade and catch him at red. He's going to throw down a ward, but it's going to go down 1 second too late because I get into the bush. I watch him do red from the bush. He actually hits me a couple times with Q without noticing. And my mistake here is that I should have smited red from him. I didn't think his smite would be back up because I wasn't really counting it. But that's fine, because I get on him with red buff, and I finish him off with a double strike. In this example, I'm on red team, so the initial plan is to go for my Gromp, and then catch their Skarner when he's doing his red. My team scouts a little bit forward, they throw down a ward. We see that their bot lane isn't really preparing to do Krugs, and so we figure that Skarner is starting blue, and with that in mind, I head over to the other side of the map. I throw down my ward. I see Irelia. I go for my red buff so that I can duel Skarner. I ask for a leash. Looks like I'm not really going to get it. Doesn't matter, it's fine. I can still get it pretty quickly as Master Yi. So I take my red, I smite it to get health back, finish off the little bramblings again, and I start heading over to Skarner, because I see that he's started his blue buff with my ward that I placed earlier. It turns out that Skarner didn't actually smite Gromp, which is a little silly, so I'm waiting for my ward to wear off before I head into that bush, but he smites blue buff before my ward wears off. I'm like, okay, that's fine, let's start the fight. Start applying red buff, auto attacks, Q, one auto, he tries to flash, but it doesn't matter because he's finished off. So thanks for watching my jungle level 2 invasion guide. This is the first kind of instructional video I've ever done for League of Legends. If you liked it or you didn't like it, let me know, share your feedback below the video, and thanks again.